What else? We mentioned prepaid property taxes. What else should a buyer be prepared for to see, set the expectations? When they look at the settlement sheet for the first time, what are they going to see?
Right at the top, they're going to see on their side prepaid fees. So like if you're buying a condominium and the condo fees, you're settling in the middle of the month and the condo fees were paid through the end of that month, you're going to be reimbursing the seller for half the month's of condo fees as of the date of settlement. That's prorated. You're also going to have your taxes prorated. So if the sellers have paid through the end of the tax year, so it might be through the end of June, and you're settling in May, you're going to be giving them some of the taxes that they've paid back. Water sewer, depends on what area you're buying in, but typically there's some sort of proration for water sewer fees as well. And then once you get past that, you're going to start to see like a credit for your deposit back that you provided in the beginning of the contract.
Lender fees.
So there will be a closing costs fee at the bottom of the first page, and then you're going to go to the second page and it'll detail all the different fees, which will have the lender fees, the title fees, any miscellaneous fees, admin fees, things like that you'll start to see. But they'll all be detailed, and when you go to settlement, the title attorney or whoever's conducting settlement will go through all those fees for you and explain them and answer any questions that you have.
Buyer and seller now, so that we're talking both sides, because closing costs do affect both parties. What do you think the biggest surprise is for either party that they could see on the settlement sheet and just kind of catch them off guard if they're not prepared properly? If an agent hasn't talked to them ahead of time and prepared them properly, seller specifically, is there one that comes to mind?
I mean, the seller is going to pay for half of the transfer and recordation taxes, which sometimes they think that might be a buyer responsibility, but in the contract it's already going to say that it's going to be split equally. The seller is also paying for commission, which is one of the largest items on the settlement sheet, and that's going to be based off of your sales price. And that's the way it's working right now. That could change in the future with regards to...
We'll go back for a second, because it is accurate, but let's outline for everybody's clarity. The seller's paying the commission to the listing agent,
Correct.
as agreed upon in the listing agreement.
Correct, yep. So the seller is going to be paying the commission to the listing agent, and then the listing agent is offering, has offered in the MLS co-broke. So
up to this point.
Yeah, up to this point, that's...
For those that don't know, some things might be changing here in the future with that, and we promise we'll keep you updated. But going to the seller side and closing costs, we've been through so many hundreds of settlements, years and years into this now. And I think the three things that we really wanted to touch on in this video to just properly prepare people, when buyers come in or when sellers go, hey, closing costs are split 50-50, let's make sure we understand the terms. Transfer and recordations are split 50-50. And any good agent is going to write it that way. Closing costs are not. And so don't have that expectation. The owner's policy, yeah, it's going to be a significant charge on the title sheet, but it's insuring one of your largest purchases and your largest assets. I don't know, in our opinion, why you wouldn't want it. And the third one, on the seller side, if you don't file the right forms ahead of time, or if a seller lives out of state, an unexpected surprise could be what?
So yes, in Maryland and in Delaware, actually, there is a non-resident tax. So it's kind of like an exit tax. If you're profiting on the sale of a property, Maryland and Delaware want their portion of that profit. So the percentages are a little bit different. Maryland is 8% right now. Delaware is a little bit less. Maryland has a different process that you have to go through in order to get that withholding changed prior to settlement. Delaware is as simple as filling out a form and showing them what your net proceeds are and your net profits, and then basing the tax on that.
So Delaware can be done at the table. Maryland has to be done 21 days prior to settlement.
Yeah, Delaware is typically you're going to get the form in advance of settlement, and you would fill that out and return it. But it could be done at the settlement table if, like, worst case scenario. But Maryland, they will withhold 8% of your proceeds rather than your profits if you don't go through the comptroller and make application for the withholding change.
So we're going to post in this video information about what Maryland calls an MW 506AE form. It needs to be filed 21 days before settlement, not 20, not 19. Great agent's going to tell you about it when you list the property. They're going to help you complete it as soon as you get a contract. They're going to help you get it filed. We're not accountants. We're there to help. But if you're talking a couple $100,000 in sale or profits, to show up and have 8% of that, to see a $32,000, $36,000 deduction on your settlement sheet that you're not prepared for, it can be a shocker. Anything else closing cost wise you want to cover?
No.
All right. Thanks for watching this episode of Selling Ocean City. We wanted to get some basic closing cost information out there for everybody. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you in our next video.